All right, what is up, everybody? It is good to be back. You know what? Chris had a week off earlier in July. I got a week off just now, went on a family trip. We kind of have a cottage that we go to each year. It's one of those cottages that there's no internet, there's no cell service, there's not even air conditioning. It's right on Lake Michigan. Just awesome. It's one of these cool things that we get at a really cheap rate because it's been in the family and all the family members. You know how my great-great-grandfather bought this thing back in 1921, and it has stayed in the family, and we're just one of the many tentacles that get to go there for a week, and just so blessed to have that. But so I am back feeling refreshed and good as ever, and just so awesome to be back talking Detroit Lions football. Big thank you to Chris for letting me go do that for a week as he held down the fort here. And of course, I had a week off from my real job too, so that's always nice as well. But with all of that being said, the Detroit Lions had a big signing right before training camp started. We need to talk about it. And here we are. I just got back, like I said, from vacation, and we are 2 days away, Sunday the 20th, from the Detroit Lions having their first practice of the 2025 NFL season. Training camp is officially beginning, and we are here to talk about all the stories, all the in-betweens, the things we haven't talked about. And I don't know about you, but I am so much more excited about this year's draft class than I was last year. And maybe it's because I'm excited about both this year's and last year's draft class. Like, I'm really excited about it, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, let's talk about who the Lions signed. All right, the Detroit Lions finally, this is the last rookie to have to sign. They agreed with second-round pick Tate Ratledge, agrees to his rookie contract. Now let's talk about what took so long for this. The NFL had this unique thing this year. All right, teams were delaying signing second-round picks. All of a sudden, the players and the agents decided this year, first-rounders are fully guaranteed contracts. All of a sudden this year, they decided, no, we want second-round contracts to be guaranteed contracts. In fact, the Houston Texans early on broke precedent. They signed Jaden Higgins, their wide receiver, to a fully guaranteed contract. Prior to that, no second-round pick had received that much of their contract guaranteed. I don't think ever. I think he was the first ever player to get a fully guaranteed. Then the Browns, doing Browns things, got Carson Schlesinger, the 33rd overall pick, a fully guaranteed contract of his own. And then since those moments, a month ago, something like that, month and a half, I don't know how long ago they signed those, nobody in the second round had signed. Nobody. For weeks. Nothing. So it's not like the Lions are out of the ordinary here. This wasn't unique. 30 of 32 teams hadn't signed their second round pick. But the Lions, some of the fans were getting a little impatient, either saying the Lions were cheap or saying that Tate needed to get his butt into camp. It wasn't as simple as that. 30 out of 32 were in the same position. The problem is we have the Hall of Fame game, so we start camp earlier than everybody else, so we needed to get it going. All right, then on Wednesday, just 2 days ago, the 49ers agreed to terms of 43rd overall selection Alfred Collins on a contract that was not fully guaranteed. It was not fully guaranteed. From there, it's the domino effect. So now everybody's like, oh, okay, well, we can do this. We can do this now. And so that is when Ratledge got his deal done yesterday. The Lions quickly went. It's very interesting because when you look at the contract, I wanted to show you this. All right? I wanted to show you this. This is Ennis Rakestraw's contract. And why am I showing you Ennis Rakestraw's contract? This was a contract that was done last year under what was normal. It was a contract for $6.5 million, basically. About 3.4 of it was fully guaranteed. Average annual salary of 1.6, so that brings you up to 5.1 million because you get that first year done. Nobody's going to get rid of that first year, which leaves about 1.6 million left in guarantees. So that's basically what these players and these GMs and owners were arguing about. For each player, it was about $1.6 million, depending on where you went. Now, I'm comparing Ennis Rakestraw to Tate because Ennis was picked 61. Tate was picked 57. They're not that far apart. And so I'll be interested. I haven't seen what the guarantees are. All right, this is according to Spotrac. This is where we're at right now. The salary has gone up because of the pick slot and because it's another year with more money. So 7.6 instead of 6.5. And it includes a $2.2 million signing bonus. We don't know what the guarantees are yet. We just don't know. But it's a significantly smaller dead cap. So that now he might just not know what it is at this point. But Tate Ratledge has signed. So here is our guard. Here is our center of the future. Maybe. I want to talk about this draft class as a whole and why I'm so excited about it. But before I do that, I just want to remind you of who Tate Ratledge is. Look at this athletic profile. We're going to compare it to the guy that just retired coming out. Now, he tested as a guard. But let's start by going on size and weight. He's 6'6", 308. Arm length, 32. All right, let's compare this to Frank Ragnow. Frank Ragnow was 6'5", 312, almost the exact same size with a 1-inch bigger arms. Okay, now let's compare the speed. 499, 291, 197, a 9 point, all in the elite category for RAS. And if you don't know what this is the relative athletic score. In other words, how well they tested against everybody else at their position. All right? Guess what? Tate was just a little bit faster. Just a little bit faster. How about the explosion? Things you need at the center position. 9.46, 9.67 as compared to Frank. 9.75, 9.88. The shuttle, the 3-cone, Tate didn't do the shuttle, but was elite at the 3-cone. Look, they're essentially the same size, the same weight, the same speed, the same body, everything. They both had the whole, they're a dirtbag, you know what I mean? Like that's a compliment, right? Like they're willing to get down and dirty. We've already got pictures of Tate fishing, and we know how much Frank loves to fish. Like, did we just replace Frank with younger Frank? I don't know. Like, I'm not going to say goodbye to Frank that fast, and I'm not going to say that Tate's just going to be the next great NFL center. It's too early to say that. But their personalities, SEC schools, the same, same mentality on the field, all of it, playing through injuries. They are very similar players on paper. Can't wait to see what he does. Here's the interesting thing. Frank played center his college career, and then for his first year in the NFL, played guard. Hated it. Tate Ratledge has played guard his entire college career. Could he play center first year in the NFL, or even going forward? I don't know. I know that Georgia had him as their backup center in case anything happened to their center. So he has cross-trained at center. It's not like this is something completely new. But, and I'm going to probably talk more about this in a video tomorrow, depending on what we have coming out. But just real quick today, I just want to talk about the excitement. I was on a phone call with Chris, the other guy who does this channel, recently. Just so pumped up about this draft class, and I think I know why. Last year, we were all pumped about the Terrion Arnold pick. I remember how excited we all were. But then in the second round, we took another corner. So that essentially erases the Ennis Rakestraw excitement because we already had Terrion. Like, this is how people were feeling. Then we trade up for two guys, Giovanni Manu and Sione Vacchi. All right, you see it right here. All right, that we knew weren't going to be year one contributors. It was made very clear to us that they weren't going to be year one contributors. And then, so all we were talking about was pick 189 and pick 210, Wingo and Mahogany. So we basically had three players we could talk about. This year, every single player has a unique and exciting twist to him, right? You have Tyleik Williams, the dominant interior, massive body, but quick twitch, in many ways reminds people of Aleem McNeil, just taller. All right, Tate Ratledge, we've already been talking about him. Isaac Tesla, the local kid, Lions fan his whole life, who's an athletic freak. Again, he might not be a right-away type thing. And then everybody, Miles Frazier, with Frank leaving, all of a sudden it's like, man, does he have a shot? Ahmed Hassanin gets drafted, most intriguing prospect we got at the most needed position. Dan Jackson, Dominic Lovett, Georgia Bulldogs. Big program, good players, better athletes than you'd think. It's a fun draft class. We're going to get into this more probably tomorrow in my video. We'll see. We'll see what news comes out. But so excited for actual football. And by the way, we're only 13 days away from being able to watch some of these players in the Hall of Fame game. Cannot wait for that. If you already look like you belong as a rookie at a Hall of Fame game just 10 days into practice, yikes. Look out. You're going to be solid. All right. Hey, thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.